Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching The Boys Season 2 Episode 2, Proper Preparation and Planning, which I guess is Butcher saying this mission needs proper preparation and planning, which it does. That's not true. But yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of tensions on the boys on the team at the moment because of obviously the way everything went down at the end of the last season, and it was already pretty tense in the last episode. I guess we're going to see more of Gecko getting the compound V, or Gecko staying on Starlight's back, whatever he's going to do, that will ripple out, and Homelander just being the worst man ever on the deep, vying for second place, but just being so pathetic he can't even make that. This show is fantastic. I love it. If you would like to watch the unedited version of my reaction, it's up on Patreon, and you can get the next 2 episodes as well. Patreon gets it 2 weeks early, unedited, and then you can also get the edited version 1 week early in slightly lower tier. But yes, I love this show. Let's go. So now I just left him to be, I guess, national enemy #1.
A pin, anything.
I'd be calling like 999, 911. You might need an ambulance anyway. Oh gosh. She's calling 911 100% now. Homelander knows it's crueler to leave him like this, knowing that she's not dead and everything, and okay. Oh, she's trying to explain it to him. Exactly. Her brother's the boy, she's the girl. Oh. It would be so frustrating not being able to communicate it.
Going to make a contact.
You need to be more upfront with them this time and tell them things.
We left us for dead, and now it's like nothing happened?
I mean, he does need to say something, even if it's just... You need to acknowledge it.
I told ya. She was already dead when I blew her up.
Oh, great. Cool.
Oh, you did attach the bombs to her with the intention of blowing her up. Like, I don't think he didn't go to try and save them because he was truly careless. I think everything was spiralling and he thought this was my one chance to get, and the closest I've ever been to getting Homelander, etc. I don't think he did it to be heartless, but he kind of needs to acknowledge that maybe I screwed up by not being there to help them, but, you know, I kind of thought they'd be able to, you know, I don't know, just talk.
You'll get the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this poor child.
You know, when I was his age, I was breaking the sound barrier.
Well, he's a child.
Can't even
He's allowed to be a child.
We thought it was best that he have as ordinary of a child.
Because you are a psychopath.
We?
How long are you planning on staying?
God.
Becca, we had a deal. A deal that is alive and well and running around as free as a goddamn bird.
So she said you could have access if Butcher's alive.
That's just...
Oh.
What?
What?
When?
Get it done. You are not.
I have a family emergency too.
A reading from the Book of Revelations. The God shall wipe away all the
stress.
tears
Oh
from
my
their
goodness,
eyes,
no,
and
is
there
this
will be
it's
no
not
more
her
death.
ex.
Today
Okay.
we say goodbye to Sue.
I thought now that
Her body rests.
her
Her soul lives
children.
on for all
I thought for a second that Maeve was
And one
going
day
to
you will
like
think of
her
Susan
girlfriend's
with
funeral.
joy.
Grace, you really think I've done that?
You really want me to answer that?
I mean,
Specifically, technically, have the answer to that, but I know how to get it.
butcher.
I'm not getting back in. And if I were, which I'm not, it sure as shit wouldn't be for you.
If I were, which I'm not.
Just dip in a little toe, yeah?
Yeah, that's how it starts. You dip in the toe or two,
You never
and
give
then
a
he
shit
pulls you
about
in.
Susan.
This is a good song. He doesn't deserve it. Oh god, is there a fish in a tank or something?
Here, open up.
What the fuck?
Bro, we gotta talk.
No thank you. You are high.
You gotta look. Can't accept your own body, so you violate theirs.
Yeah? Does not excuse you. Oh god, it was her, but she's alive. That is something good.
Definitely not.
I think helping Starlight has helped Maeve a little bit.
Starlight, single or spoken for?
Ugh.
Singles. Shouldn't we all just, you know, be competent at our jobs?
Is Sue Edgar picked?
Better. I think power. Let's talk about getting some pockets.
He's right behind you.
Here comes the A-Train!
What?
What's up?
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
Oh my god. Does he remember? He does, doesn't he?
Welcome back.
I hate this because she's got to feel him out, see if he knows anything, remembers anything.
Nope. What would have happened if I hadn't been there to give you CPR?
Yep. Oh.
That's good to know.
Oh god. Stress.
How does everyone feel about you helping your traitor fucking boyfriend escape?
Is this how he cheers himself up?
Grab our records clean. Get the old bill off our asses and get you back to your girls.
Really?
The truth.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Butcher by any means, but how the hell would you trust him?
7:30.
The way she looked at you.
I don't care because I don't like him, because I don't care what body problems you have, you don't rape people. No, you don't, because you're a rapist. You deserve to die. Or prison. Please say that mushrooms are toxic to fishmen, and then he can die.
I'm the ugly.
No.
Yes. On the inside.
Yeah, I mean, yes, very true.
Your kid chucks it in the garbage.
Why did Edgar choose her? I feel like she doesn't fit any of it. Is that the point? In the middle of war? Oh, goodness.
Hey, yeah, from...
I hate this. Die.
Shall we?
I'm very intrigued by Stormfront. She's got the bag. Oh, what is she trying to do? Or does she know he's there and wants to... Oh, he's still there, yeah. Why is he obsessed with drinking milk?
Open the door.
Oh my god.
Fucking door!
So wait.
I want to talk to Dr. Park.
Go back inside the car.
So does he live in a totally fake town?
That was the deal.
Homelander is quite upset that this information was concealed from him.
He's a rapist piece of shit.
You'll get bored and move on.
You don't know that. You don't.
God, this is... Like, I get why she had to trust them when she was pregnant, because being pregnant with your rapist superhero baby, like...
Do I get to keep this? Maybe. Only to go.
She weird. I hate this. I hate the fact that Maeve's been forced into this life and Starlight has. We need to take Vought down.
They found his head in one room. And his torso in another. What are you saying?
Homelander.
You think Homelander did that?
She knows he did.
Oh, I watched him do.
I'm so scared because I feel like it could put both of them in danger, her telling her this, but I'm also so glad she's finally telling someone.
Things he made me do.
Oh god.
I don't want you to hate me anymore.
Oh my god.
Truth is,
it's weird because a part of Homelander I think is sincere in wanting to connect with his child. But
Wait, you didn't?
he is a disturbed individual who should not have access to his child.
it's hard. Superior to every single other person on the planet. It's isolating.
And like, if the kid turns out to not have many powers or strong powers,
Have to feel that kind of
he'd kill him.
gods.
I mean, this boy is going to become as crazy as him.
I should probably go to bed now, you know?
Oh, you sweet child. Stay sweet.
I love you, son. You say it back.
I love you too.
This is nice.
Yeah, that's so sincere. Oh, this poor child. The child's basically a hostage.
Excuse me?
You can't play house here. I'm so scared for her. But I'm so proud of her as well.
Do you think he'll fucking despise you?
What about when he finds out his father raped his mother? How's he going to feel about that?
How about some Jiffy Pop?
Just die. See, I feel bad now for at the end of the last season questioning whether or not they might have, like, consensually, like, she might have cheated on her husband with him. But the reason I kind of had that thought train was more because what would be, like, the most of a gut punch to Butcher would be if Homelander actually hadn't done anything, like, wrong in the situation. If he'd, you know, like, she'd just been a bit seduced by the power of Homelander. Whereas from the moment especially when they kind of saw each other, but especially in this episode when they've been seeing each other, it's very clear that that is not how she feels towards Homelander in the slightest. That, you know, it's not just being a little bit scared of him. So he definitely did rape her, which makes the whole situation 10,000 times worse than if they'd just had an ill-advised hookup. And I need him to die quickly. Very, very quickly. Maybe his son will be the one person that can kill him, which is tragic. I mean, the kid needs to grow up before we even get into that kind of young adult territory, but yes. Is he vaguely armed? I was, yes. Yep, he's finally gonna put the pieces together.
What is going on?
Come on now! Think about it, she's been freaking out ever since she found the thing. Who do you think she at least thinks the person is? Oh my god.
Your brother.
He's only you can't put your mission on. No, you know. No. I mean, we need to figure out where his loyalties lie, but attacking him is bad.
Oh, come on. Why do you care what I think?
Because she needs something out of your backpack.
I want to say...
Maybe she's a spy, oh god. I'm very surprised that Vought chose.
Oh, and if someone sticks a dick in your...
You do not get to just shoot Kimiko's brother.
No, Butcher! No, easy, Butcher!
CIA would have locked him up in some black box forever, and she never would have seen her brother again.
Easy!
You haven't lived with Kimiko for as long as they have.
Please, not now.
And you might need to leave because this would have caused a loud commotion and...
Fuck off.
No. But actually, he's got his hands on some vitamin D. Some compound V. So was Frenchie okay with Butcher shooting Kimiko's brother?
Fuck you waiting for?
You haven't been a very loyal leader. They better pick Huey. I mean, Butcher's more useful, but...
It's like Huey's infected you both with a raging case of vagina.
Or maybe being a good person and actually trying to do the right thing from time to time and not just thinking about yourself all the time, Butcher, is okay. Maybe that's the right way to be. To have loyalty to other people than yourself. And you know that deep down because that's who you used to be.
What?
Oh, thank you for telling them, being vulnerable with them.
He had a little boy with her, right?
Oh, God.
Then
This is what I wanted.
I thought he just wanted her. And I gotta get her the fuck out of here.
You do, but what if...
And I need your help to do it.
This is what I need, someone to...
Are you fucking...
Genuine, honest emotions. That is what gets through. Butcher needs to stop and think for a second that, yes, he is someone that is very easily blinded by what he wants and saving people that he loves, and I totally get that. I mean, it's very easy for me to sit here and be like, no, you've got to put other people first. You know, it's different when you're in the situation. But what would he have done if Kimiko could have got her brother back by handing over Becca? What would Butcher's attitude be there? Would Butcher have let her shoot Becca to get her brother back? Or would Butcher have wanted someone to push, like, he needs to kind of take a step back, which is so hard to do. It's much easier to do when I'm sitting here. But I'm so thankful they had Butcher actually be vulnerable and tell them the truth and kind of admit that, like, you know, he didn't say sorry because that's not in his nature, but he kind of was like, yeah, I get that you should tell me, I get that I'm not worthy of it, but I need your help. And that is what I needed from Butcher. Oh. So I'm guessing she's always been mute and that's why they use sign language. Oh, she was going to. No, you're not a monster. You are not a monster. Look, your heart is so good and pure. You're both here and you're alive and you're together. And that's what matters. No. Oh, she needed to hear that and he needed to be able to say it and oh. Oh no, you need to leave Vault with it and go hide it someplace outside of Vault. A-Train is going to come and turn you in or hurt you or threaten you.
Huey saved your life. We both did.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mistake. Who says that I haven't already?
Because then I'd already be dead. You're not gonna do
Yes,
shit.
yes, Starlight. Stand
Why
up for
is that?
yourself.
Because you killed your fucking girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Did she suffer?
Yes, Annie.
Did you look into her baby?
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, wow. All those needles jammed into
Yep.
her arm at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of them actually shattered the bone. Did you know that? Would someone really do that
Proof.
to themselves?
I'm gonna take you down right now.
Yeah, mutually assured destruction. That's the whole
And then we'll
point
both
here.
be dead.
Exactly, that's the whole point. You finally grasp it.
Go ahead.
Yes, Annie. Well, have a nice death, I hope. They will if we talk to them. I know they shot at you, but one of them pushed them out of the way. Oh. I don't know if that's possible, unfortunately. Oh no, see? You can radicalize people when you go in again and just murder everyone. Exactly. Oh no. But that's what happens when you go in and you attack places and you use too much force. You radicalize people there that weren't already radicalized. Oh god. No. It's her baby brother, she just wants to love and protect. She just knocked him out, that's it. She's just knocked out, she's caught him. That's good. That's good, sweetheart.
Right.
Oh.
It's got some sense around here.
She will kill you, Butcher. You might deserve it for trying to shoot her brother. Make up now, please. Punch him in the face.
You come between me and Mom.
Every time I try and just wholeheartedly like Butcher, I can't do it. He's a great character, but my god, is he a terrible person. Like, he goes on about we're the boys, we're a team, and he can't even see past the most basic, like, other people can matter too. If people treated Butcher the way he treats the rest of them, he could not take it. And I understand why he's acting that way, like, he's a very broken person, but ugh. This was a fantastic episode again. I think I enjoyed it more than the first one of the season. I didn't dislike the first one of the season, but this one I feel like, you know, they gave us a bit of the background, which was kind of exactly where Butcher had been and the kind of everything there. So starting off with Homelander, he isn't very happy with life at Vault at the moment, so he's just ignoring that and going and just living in that house and imposing, forcing his presence on Becca and their son. In general, that is a very terrifying situation, and it's heartbreaking, you know, for Becca. Because it was quite ambiguous what happened last season. I was wondering whether, you know, maybe the encounter had been consensual or whatever, but definitely looking at it in what we can see, she was 100% a rape victim. At work, in a place where she was supposed to be safe, there were no repercussions for it. She got pregnant with a freaky, fast-growing baby that had superpowers or whatever it was, and of course she had to turn. She didn't feel like she could talk to her husband, and I wish she had. I think he would have been supportive and been there with her. Maybe even he could have gone with her to live in the Vault place at the least and been a father to the boy, though Homelander would have now since murdered him. You know, you kind of feel like she was just in such a desperate place that in order to secure her safety and the safety of the baby, because again, it's not the baby's fault you were raped. And I know that there are a lot of people who, you know, you never know until you're in the position of having been raped and then being pregnant, whether you'd be able to love the baby for the being itself, or, you know, like, it's a very convoluted, complicated thing, but we can see that she truly does care for her son. So neither of them might have survived the pregnancy. I can see why she would have gone to Vault for help and then kind of been left with no other choice but raising him in this. I kind of thought that they were just raising him, like, in the wild, just very much monitored, but no, it's fully fake, which it's horrible for Becca as well, because you can tell from the fact that she keeps that picture that she's desperately been missing her husband, and that seeing him again, having him taken away and having Homelander dangle his freedom over her is awful. Does she even know that he's currently wanted for killing Madeline Stillwell and everything? I don't know how much access to the outside they get. And everything, even the piano teacher, it's all fake. I guess he just thinks he's homeschooled and doesn't have any friends, even though you kind of try and give your kid some friends. But just, I don't exactly think Becca had much of a say in how she raised him. And if she always told him, oh, nothing in your life is real other than me, he's going to get messed up by that too. I think Vought is playing a very dangerous game here. Especially given that he's not currently displaying powers that he can't control. I think having him in the wild wouldn't have been that bad. He definitely has powers, because when, at the end of the last season, Homelander like introduced himself, that his eyes glowed. They just haven't manifested yet. Maybe they're not very powerful compared to Homelander's. And it's just so messed up. It's messed up for Becca, because not only has she had to give up her entire life, like, for all that bloody Starlight's mum keeps being like, oh, I gave up my life for you, by voluntarily taking her to like pageants and kind of forcing her into doing things she wanted. Like, this is literally a mother that had to give up her entire life for her child. And you can see how much she loves him, how terrified she is for him that Homelander had in his life. You know, it's like having an abusive, narcissistic parent being in your child's life. You want to limit that exposure as much as you can, because it can warp your child. It can, you know, there are various outcomes. One of them is your child could be abused by the person. The other is that your child could become like the person, because that is a dominant influence in their life. We've got to hope that the 8 years of just Becca that he had has been enough to give him a really strong foundation that kid is going to fight against Homelander. We did see that he's not won over by Homelander. Like, he thinks it's cool that his dad's a superhero, but he is just a strange man that keeps kind of forcefully being in his life. And I think from his face, it definitely looked like Ryan was not happy with Homelander's talk about how we are gods who should rule over the mortals, all that. Like, it definitely seems as though Ryan was like, what? I'm not okay, Dad. And like, we're okay, Homelander. And like, the fact that Homelander had to be like, I love you, Sam. Now you say it back. Like, he doesn't know you. He's known you for like a couple of weeks at most. It's not possible to love someone in that time. And you're quite creepy and forceful. And like, you got rid of his baseball, you know. But then Homelander throwing it at her that one day he's going to find out. I could go and tell him that this is all a lie. And it's true that I think that is going to be a massive thing for Ryan when he becomes an adult, because obviously then Vaught's not going to want to have him living there for forever. But that's something that she'll be very aware of, and needs to be able to tell him in his own time, so that she can try and get him through it. And maybe he will be angry with her for a moment, but she knows that she's done it to keep him safe. But in a way, the fact that Homelander has found him and is now in his life means it was all for nothing, in a sense, because Homelander can warp him and do what he wants to him and try and make him into this soulless creature like him. Like I said, hopefully the first 8 years. The danger would come if Homelander were to get rid of Becca, whether he were to kill her, have her removed or whatever, and Homelander become the only influence in Ryan's life. He's still very much at a vulnerable age, but hopefully having his mum too will be enough. But at the same time, Homelander could drop that truth at any point. But I love how strong Becca is, because she is fighting for that child. She stood up to him. She's doing everything she can in the situation where she has no power to use whatever she can and to stand up for him. And I love her so much already. But my heart is breaking for her as well. The other danger for Ryan is if Homelander, if he turns out to not have powers, or not really have powers, you know, have a weak imitation, because I didn't think it was possible for a soup to conceive a child. So if he, maybe it's like diluted, or at least for Homelander to conceive a child, maybe not all superheroes, but yeah. If he's not going to be that great a power, if he's not a god among men, what Homelander might do and how he might treat him. It's a horrible, stressful situation. So then we have the boys, and I love that Kimiko got to find her brother. I had a bit of trouble with the subtitles, but just the fact that she found him was everything. But then the fact that he'd been radicalized. And that is so true. Like, a lot of Western aggression against the East because of Islamic extremism has caused more Islamic extremists. Because if people, you know, you see innocent people getting hurt by forces that say they're going after the bad people, and then the bad people are like, see, that's what we want to protect. It's proven that is what radicalizes people, and forces people into being against you. So he went from being someone that hated being part of the organization to someone that truly believes in it. Now we have to hope that maybe Kimiko can get through to him with more time. Now we have him. if we can contain him, I hope we can. But it just broke my heart to kind of see how happy she was to get him back, and then how sad it was when she lost him. To an extent, like she had to fight him. The fact that he was willing to go, he was willing to hurt her, he was willing to become a terrorist because he's been pushed to that extreme point. I think what we need to kind of do is recruit him ideally onto our mission, which is that, like, yeah, okay, like, America has a lot of issues, but the big problem, the people that have been hurting the people that you care about, is Raw and the superheroes. Help us fight against them, not innocent people that have had nothing to do with it. I don't know whether we're going to be able to get there. That's kind of the path Kimiko is on. But whether we'll be able to convince him to do that. Like, as well, like, they killed your parents. So, yeah, even if you think America's bad, they're bad too. But it's hard when you've been brainwashed and indoctrinated all your life. I like that, you know, Kimiko wanted to bring him back to the others. Obviously, she wanted to run with him because he was not safe in that moment, but she would have killed him. But yes. So then we have the whole dynamic with Butcher. And I hated the way he swanned in like nothing bad had ever happened and tried to have the exact same attitude he'd always had of, I'm the boss, I know everything, I don't need to tell you all the details, you all don't really matter, I'm all that matters, but also I'm going to give you everything you wanted and it's all going to be fine, but I'm not going to tell you how it's going to be fine, and there are actually no guarantees. It's the attitude he had last season, and again, I fully understand why Butcher is the way he is. He has been broken by life, and this vengeance mission is all he can have, but now he can actually get his wife back, and that's all he can see, but it doesn't, you know, he's lost himself along the way, at least if he truly used to be a kind, caring man who cared about doing the right thing ever, then maybe he always was a bit of a selfish bastard. And again, like, I can totally understand that blind devotion of wanting to get back to your wife. I don't even hate him by any means, but I don't like him particularly. He's not a likeable character, so that is valid. Like, it's just the way he thinks his mission matters more than the rest of them. He thinks that him getting his wife back is genuinely more important than Kimiko getting her brother back, than MM getting back to his family, than stopping a terrorist, you know. And while I think I can totally understand spur of the moment decisions of that, you know, like if someone had a gun to Becca's head and a gun to Kimiko's brother's head, yeah, I could see Butcher being like, save my wife, not him, in that kind of, it's that or that, but he doesn't need to think he's always right. And punching Huey at the end was just, oh my god, like, that is what really irritated me, because I loved the bit when he was vulnerable with them. I loved the fact that he told them the truth about Becca, that he told them that he was desperate, that he kind of had a real emotion on his face, some of what he's been feeling. He's very good at shoving his emotions into a little hole, which isn't healthy. And I liked that he kind of appealed to them honestly. Like, he didn't apologise because he's a dick, he's never going to apologise, but he levelled with them, and that's what got them to come back. But then punching Huey with that much force was so unnecessary. If anything, that was just him trying to be, I'm the alpha male. I'm punching you because I'm the alpha male in this town. You're not gonna. Like, it just was so unnecessary. And I really hope Butcher's gonna get taken down a peg within the boys at some point, because I just think he needs to be aware that he's not the only one that's mattered. And it's been the way throughout the whole show, you know. When Huey wanted to go and try and save the others, he wanted to go and get his vengeance. Instead of going with Huey to save the others, then going to get his vengeance, you know. It would have delayed him by half an hour. An hour. I suppose actually, it would have been like an hour and a half. But, you know, it would have delayed him by not that long in the grand scheme of things if he'd gone with Huey to try and save them, and Huey had a vague plan. But yes, no, Butcher is all that matters. So that really is frustrating me. It frustrated me last season, but it's kind of frustrating me more this season. But at the same time, my heart is absolutely breaking for him because of everything he's been through. It's a very weird show in that regard. Like, losing his wife, now finding her again, but having Homelander just literally just left him there because it makes him suffer more. The fact that he knows she's out there, but he can't do anything about it. Oh my goodness, poor guy. But also, this guy needs to get his act together before I slap him. I have mixed feelings. Again, you can kind of see that Huey is feeling a bit lost. He was the one that spurred them back into action after they just spent weeks or however long it's been just kind of doing nothing. And now I like that Frenchie and MM didn't want to leave, didn't, like, kind of sided with Huey over Butcher in that moment, because you need to have some loyalty to the people you're with. And I hope Butcher's going to grow some of that more, because I think deep down he has it, but what he wants and needs always overrides it. Then we have the Deep, who I just don't care. Acting is fantastic, you know, the characterization is brilliant, but he's a rapist scumbag. Like, oh cool, so you rape because you're insecure and you want to have power over others. Yes, that's what I said last season, move along please. I don't care in the slightest. Whereas if he hadn't been a rapist, if maybe he'd just been a little bit of a bully but hadn't actually properly hurt or damaged anyone, I would be like really feeling for him. I would be thinking like, oh, hating part of how you look is something everyone can relate to. Like, I would be so behind him as a character, but as it is, I hope he dies. Why is he not dead yet? I mean, I guess after this episode he's going to be joining the cult, so that's going to be an interesting one that isn't revolving around his self-pity, but stress. I don't want a cult of Soups. What is happening here? Eagle, what are you up to? And Cult Lady, what are you up to? Then we have Starlight, and it's hard because I think if Stormfront had joined last season, they would have had a much better rapport. Stormfront still wouldn't have immediately liked Starlight because Starlight's image was just of being kind of like a good girl, like, you know, like a good girl, which clearly, you know, Stormfront is like, who needs that? But I think they would have she would have seen that Starlight was struggling under Vought. Whereas this season, Starlight, to any observers in the company, has done a magical transformation into being Vaught's little darling. She dresses how they want, she says what they want, which is not who she was. Maybe, I don't know, because they've got the deep out of the way, she's lost that bit of leverage, I think that's why she's doing it. But if Stormfront isn't secretly evil or isn't gonna be cool with letting a plane crash, etc., I really do hope she's gonna get to see that both Starlight and Maeve are people worth knowing. But I'm intrigued by Stormfront at the moment, because why on earth did Edgar choose her? Is it just because she's gonna kind of be a bit distracting from other stuff because she's such a sort of different whirlwind of information for the public? I'm just intrigued to see where she goes. Then I love that Starlight, you know, she got the vitamin D, why do I call it the compound V, and kind of trying to hide it and everything, and she got it back on the Stormfront, which was good. She stood up for herself against Stormfront a little bit, and then she took her words to heart that she doesn't need to that she can, you know, A-Train is despicable. He killed Robin. He killed his girlfriend. He is not a good person. It's not like, you know, she was able to blackmail someone that was fairly harmless. She can blackmail him, and I love that moment. And you know, when he was all like, oh yeah, but if you do that, I'm going to turn you in. Like, yes, congratulations, A-Train, you have understood the purpose of this conversation. So they each have something over each other, but it's going to make for an interesting dynamic going forwards. Again, A-Train, like, so many people die in this show, and it's not the ones I want. A-Train had a heart attack, and he survived. But I like that she was able to use that against him to stop him and to have him a little bit under control. I still feel like maybe at some point it's going to end up with Starlight on the run with Huey and the boys because of Vought finding out about her, but I'm intrigued about what Maeve would do in that kind of situation. And then finally, I think it's finally, at least if I've forgotten anything, I'm really sorry, Maeve. And, you know, she was doing all the talking points and doing the thing, and they were doing their girl power thing. And, like, I'm all for girl power. I'm all for feminism. I am a feminist. But at the same time, when it's for corporate gains, it's not real. And that was very clearly fake and just kind of intoxicating. Intoxicating? No. Oh, I can't think of the word. Not intoxicating. It was just like, oh, gross. But the minute Maeve got that call, she was gone. And just, I've been so heartbroken and intrigued by their relationships in season 1. And it's true that, like, when Maeve said to Starlight about how, like, people are your weaknesses, to an extent with her, people are her weaknesses from Homelander. It's not like her, I mean, Homelander is an enemy to everyone on this show, but it's not even like the enemy would be the super terrorists or whatever. It is literally Homelander would use her against him. And the fact that some creepy man that tried to get her to sleep with him, then she turned down, he's still murdered, shows you just how deranged Homelander is, which we already knew. But I think that was a really beautiful whole thing of how she was desperate, she wanted to see her, she couldn't resist, even though part of her would have been scared that what if Homelander was around, he might have tracked her and figured out there was someone else she cared about and loved. My heart broke, but she was finally able to be honest with her girlfriend, and that means everything. So this was an absolutely fantastic episode. You can find the unedited versions up on my Patreon, and you can find the edited versions unedited 2 weeks early, edited 1 week early on my Patreon. Thank you so much for watching.